concerns because each side will be allowed 10 minutes to speak. Plats, rezonings, revised master plans, street renamings require a public hearing, after which the Planning Commission will deliberate and render its decision. Planning Commission members with a personal or financial interest in any petitioner's request are required to recuse themselves. If a motion to deny a request is made, a reason must be given. Members of the Planning Commission are Leslie Stone, Ann Clemens, Frank Cook, Reggie Dunn, Buddy Hardwick, Cruz Reeves, James Reed, and Garrett Smith. Members of the land use staff are Warren Adams and Tanya Ingram. Motion to approve minutes from the January 25th, 2024 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Minutes are approved.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
All right, item number 1, presented by Andre Bruni, representing Cobalt Realty, a request to rezone one lot on the south side of Woodmere Boulevard, known as 4770 Woodmere Boulevard, from an office zoning to a commercial zoning district.
Tanya, doesn't look like anybody's here for that one.
Right, we can hold it over to the end just in case someone shows up. We'll go to number 2.
Thank you.
Larry Speaks and Associates, representing Alabama Hospital Association, requesting to rezone one parcel containing 1.66 acres on the northeast corner of North Eastern Boulevard and Oliver Road from an office zoning district to an M1 light industrial district.
Stephen Speaks with Larry Speaks and Associates, representing the Alabama Hospital Association. The Hospital Association wants to sell off a rear portion of their property located on Eastern Boulevard. There's a building behind their main office, and they need to rezone that to M1 for the buyer to use. That's the intent of the rezoning.
Stephen, what's going in there when you?
It's office with some warehouse. There's a little bit of a warehouse space. If you look at that aerial, it's that white roofed building on the backside, right?
But what business is going?
I don't have that. Yeah, I don't know the business name.
Anything further from the Planning Commission? A motion is in order.
You better get somebody out there. Ask if anybody's out there.
Anybody from the audience have any concerns, questions? Believe a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, sir.
Number 3, Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering, representing Cottonfield Place LLC, requesting final approval of Cottonfield Place number 1 on the southwest corner of Atlanta Highway and Halcyon Pointe Drive in a B3 district.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Bostick with Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering, and I'm here to represent the client and would be happy to answer your questions.
Any questions from the commission? Any questions from the audience? Believe a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion has approved.
I've got the other 2 as well, so I'll still be here for a while.
Next item,
You're
Pilgreen and
bragging
Bostick.
now.
Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering, representing Rural Holdings LLC, request approval of a revised master plan to change the use for, this should be 4 lots, from office use to commercial use on the northeast corner of Averett Drive and Kessinger Drive.
Again, I'm Chris Bostick of Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering. We are requesting permission to rezone Billingsley Place commercial plats, plat 1, lots 4, 5, 6, and 12 from office to commercial. This would be in line with the zoning of all of the non-residential lots in the plat, with the exception of lot 10, which is still office and has been purchased by the Islamic Center to the north for additional parking in the future. Thanks to Glenn Pruitt and James Reed, we were able to have a community meeting on Monday night where it was requested that the rezoning be presented with certain restrictions. We brought the requests to the owner, who agreed to all of them, and the restricted uses will be as follows: no convenience stores, no service stations, no car washes, no buildings over 1 story, no billboards, no liquor stores or bars, no restaurants, no food markets, and no auto parts stores.
What's left? Yeah. What's the commercial gonna be?
Wouldn't it be?
There is no plans for any right now. We're just rezoning to make it more marketable.
I'd like to put on record that we appreciate you coming out and talking to them and explaining to them and giving them a good understanding of what you plan to do. And the neighborhood appreciate it, and Glenn and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for putting that together.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious why they won't no restaurants when there's one next door to the lot on the north side there.
The neighborhood did not want restaurants specifically because they did not want alcohol served, and they were, a restaurant coming in that's allowed to have a liquor license was not something they wanted right at the entrance to the neighborhood.
You excluded a number of areas, which is good, but I'm much more comfortable just queuing something than I am just saying, you know, I don't like the idea of just excluding this and then we get a tattoo parlor. I didn't hear you exclude tattoo parlors. Did you?
That was not brought up. We excluded all things
that's
that
my
were mentioned.
concern. That just came to mind. I mean, I don't think they particularly want that. I'm a little concerned that we can't figure out a way to queue this property.
Mr. Cook, under the queue ordinance, when they adopted it, you cannot put a queue on a PUD. It will just have to be part of the record ordinance.
You cannot put a queue on a PUD. Okay. All right, I'm with you.
That makes sense.
I understand that. Okay. Okay.
Any other questions for the Planning Commission? Anything from the audience? Please come forward. Name and address, please.
My name is Phyllis Frizzle, 3306 Crestwood Lane, and I'm here on behalf of the Billingsley Place HOA, and we are in agreement with the intended use with the restrictions that were brought up as far as the properties is concerned. We were concerned about, we just want to clarify and make certain that there's no tobacco sales as well, because there's a bus stop for the kids right there.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Was there anybody else?
No, wait.
Please wait till you get the microphone.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm a longtime resident.
Name and address.
Sam Gordon. I'm 3548 Claiborne Circle in Billingsley Place. And I just had one question. We had, it was a last minute meeting to address us about this, and I wonder why they couldn't wait until somebody made an offer before we try to rezone that into that type of zoning that they were talking about. You know, to preserve it, because they have other lots that are available. that they could use. I just wanted to bring that to the table.
Normally in a real estate transaction like that, you're gonna have the buyer, he's not gonna buy it until you get it rezoned. He's not gonna take the liability or the time frame it takes to go through that process. So he says, I'll buy it for this, and they both agree, but you gotta get it rezoned. That's kind of the way it works in most instances.
Okay, they had like 3 or 4 other lots that are already zoned for commercial.
But we're talking about this one.
Yeah, you're talking about the entrance. And
Well,
I would prefer for them to wait on that until they sell the others. But that's just my
But
personal
in his
preference.
notes, in order to get a contract, he's going to require that it be rezoned.
Yeah.
Before he signs, he says, I'll agree to everything, but you get it rezoned for me and we'll have a deal.
Well, they don't really
It's just the
have-
way it works, sir. That's just the way it works.
They don't
So-
really have anybody that's interested right now, and they do have like 3 or 4 other lots that are already zoned for that commercial type property. So, I mean, until they buy those, why do we have to zone them all? You know, I said, wait. That's all. Just
Thank
wanted to
you.
bring that.
Thank you.
Anything further from the Planning Commission? Mr. Bostick?
As,
You're good.
yeah, I'm good.
Motion's in order.
Move to approve with the aforementioned restrictions that they've agreed to.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion's been properly seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion is approved. Thank you.
Last item, Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering, representing Marty Clark, requesting to rezone 1 parcel of land containing 5.36 acres on the north side of Rifle Range Road, known as 329 Rifle Range Road, from an Ag 1 district to an M1 light industrial district.
All right, again, I'm Chris Bostick with Pilgreen and Bostick Engineering. 329 Rifle Range Road is located outside the city of Montgomery in the police jurisdiction. This property currently has an old metal barn structure, a couple of old silos, and a new agricultural shop building. The purpose of this rezoning is to allow the opportunity to make the most efficient use of these buildings and the property, and to make the property more marketable. We are requesting M1 light industrial zoning. Both the owner and I have spoken to the 2 neighbors that are zoned residential agricultural, Charles Spencer with Full Vision Gospel Ministries and John Thames, and they are aware of what is planned and do not have an issue. The land to the south is M3 General Industry and is home to Knox Kershaw, and I'm pretty sure that we'll have no impact on their property. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I just got a comment. Robert's not here, is he?
Not today.
Yes, sir.
He's got on here potential open space, but it's right next to 2 other commercial buildings. I don't understand that. I mean, how could you single out 1 lot with others there with structures on them?
I will say that I have found several times that the Montgomery 2040 comprehensive plan, as you start getting towards the outskirts, paints everything with a very wide brush of agricultural and open space with no possibility for future development. And that's kind of a pet peeve I have with it. So I agree with you.
Anything from the audience? Please come forward.
My name is
Name and address.
Bishop Charles Spencer. Address is 163 Rifle Range Road, which is our church facility. That's not my home address, but the property is adjacent to the property which he's speaking of, is directly behind the 5 acres. My concern is, what does this change? Because the thoroughfare to our facility is through that 5 acre, which is the easeway, and also there's a cemetery out there as well. Some of you may know that, may not, but I am concerned as to what type of building will be put up in the future. What do this change for us being a light industrial area? How will it affect us if we are ministering and trying to encourage people, particularly families, to get a relationship with God? But I'm just concerned with what type of atmosphere will be put before us, being that's a thoroughfare that we have to consistently come and go in between. And would they be able to change at their own, if this go through, what changes does it, what happens after that? That affect us. Because our property is not going to move, so that's still going to be there. That is my concern. Yeah, this gentleman called me, but we didn't specifically talk about what they was going to do. So that's not totally correct.
You the Vision Full Gospel?
Yes, I'm Bishop Spencer. That's correct. Vision Full Gospel. That's why I'm here today. Yeah, go ahead.
You can stay right here in case you have additional comments.
Tanya, you may just want to read out what all goes into M1, what all could go there. I don't think you've got a specific thing unless
Well, he's about to tell you.
that goes in there.
First of all, to address the concern,
Okay.
both the church and the cemetery do have access through the property, and they would continue to have access. We could not cut off access. There's obviously an existing access through there. I don't know whether it's in a defined easement or not, but a lot cannot be denied access to the main road. So that would not change. You will always have access through this property. Secondly, light industrial would be basically making a more efficient use of the shop buildings that are there, maybe other shop buildings. There was, Ms. Clark has had conversations with a company that was even interested in doing RV storage, not RV, excuse me, commercial bus storage on the property that would be fenced in and in a part of the property. So it would be things like that. We're not talking about Kershaw industrial to the south at all. It'll be nothing like that. That's M3 and heavy industrial. So, but your access is guaranteed, and essentially this would be a good property for a shop or with storage.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
when you say it's guaranteed, is it recorded? Is there a recorded easement on this?
Martin, do you know if that's in the deed? Oh, Martin, yeah, you want to go?
Marty Clark, I'm a Pike Road resident. My survey does show access, and I should have talked to Mr. Spencer before I came. I have talked to him before about being willing to deed access permanently to the church, because I can't deny them access anyway. So if that's something that needs to be done, we can do that. But my survey does show.
But it's not recorded easement. It just shows an easement. In other words, you don't know for sure whether it's recorded.
We would have to check on that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: are you willing to do that, to have it surveyed and to get a deed recorded, or an easement recorded, not a deed, an easement? Chris?
We can either do an easement or a permanent deed.
Well, the easement would give them, he's got it in his mind, and rightfully so, that it is a documented easement and they've always had it. So if it's not, it just makes good sense right now to clean it up while y'all are doing stuff.
I agree. We'll confirm that.
All right. Okay. All right.
If you do vote to pass this on to the city council, we'll have that resolved by the time we get there.
Okay?
Anything else? Anything from the planning commission? I believe a motion's in order.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
With that, cue it, whatever you want to call it. Caveat
Conditions.
that they will get a recorded easement on that property.
That, the queue is for uses.
I'm sorry?
To put a queue on there, that's specific.
Well, what, however you
You
want to
just want
handle
me to
it,
make note of it.
get her done, and that's what they've agreed to,
I got it.
okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay.
Do we have a second?
I second what he just said.
Motion's been seconded. All those in favor? All-
7. That was 7.
All those opposed?
1. Motion passes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You want to ask, okay, is anybody here on number 1? I don't think I see anybody.
No, they
About the rezoning at 4770 Woodmere Boulevard? Nope. Okay, we're done.
Meeting's adjourned.
never